Yo, yo, it's your boy, professional wrestler, the highlight of this show, So Manny, and here's a little bit about how this wrestling journey started for me.
As a kid watching wrestling, what did wrestling feel like to you?
What did it feel like? That's a really good question. Who wrote that, man? A good journalist. You need to go to journalist school or something. That's really good. Oh, ChatGPT, get that shit out of here. Fuck AI. I'm sorry. What it felt like to me, I mean, I don't know. I really can't describe the feeling, but it drew me in some type of way that I've never felt drawn into anything. You know, like, at first when I discovered professional wrestling, it was from my cousin, and I really didn't understand. But then, like, I didn't have no friends in school, and this one dude was talking about, like, Christian and Randy Orton. I was like, oh, I know nothing about that, but I'm gonna watch at home so I can, get a friend. And when I just started watching, I was like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
wait, so you started watching just to make a friend?
yes.
And now you're here.
Now I'm here. Like, one of my biggest dreams, or like just something in the back of my head, is that I hope that person that I made a friend with, because he moved away after like fourth grade, I never heard from him again. I just want to cross by his path again. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember his name, but I'll know his face when I see him. And literally, that changed my life for better or for worse.
Where did your love for professional wrestling come from? Were you like the wrestler of the family, or did you have siblings that were also into it too?
Yeah, none of my siblings really liked it. None of them liked it at all, honestly. They'd kind of watch with me. My sister was watching a little bit, but she didn't really, it was just on the TV. And my brothers really didn't like it because they were kind of older, and they had a certain stigmatism behind it. And my dad, he didn't tell me this until like a couple years into me liking wrestling. He was a big wrestling fan, but he had ordered the pay-per-view where Owen Hart had sadly passed, and that kind of turned him off from wrestling. And he was like, I don't want my sons wanting to do this. That didn't work too well, did it? But yeah, I mean, it probably passed down from him, but I just found it, and it was just my thing that I do on Friday nights on SmackDown, I didn't have no bedtime, so I just rush up there and watch as much wrestling as possible. That's pretty much how it started. That was a question, right? Yeah, okay.
What wrestling inspired you the most as a kid, and how did she or he affect you growing up?
I get a lot of shit for this, like, so much. It's unfathomable of shit talking. But bro, my first favorite wrestler, I wouldn't say my first favorite wrestler, but one that like had me for a minute was Ryback. I don't know what it was about Ryback, but Ryback was my dog. He was on, I seen him debut and all, or like at least the Ryback character debut, and he was like the feed me more shit, and the clotheslines and his finish, and he'd be like in handicap matches doing it to two people at one time. I was like, oh, this dude's a beast. But I was only watching SmackDown in 2011, so it's like I don't have that many people to latch onto at that time. So it's probably, this is like Randy, Sheamus. I wasn't really a fan of like Big Show, like the bigger guys. But what really got me back into it was fully invested, was the Shield. All three of them. The Shield was the coolest faction of all time. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would have stayed on wrestling, honestly.
Now, as a kid, were you able to buy like wrestling toys, figures, replica belts, or were you someone that had to buy off brands or even handcraft your own merch?
So yeah, my parents did. I don't know if they thought it was a phase, but they were, they know I loved wrestling a lot, so they'd get me like, little stuff here and there for Christmas. Like my first figures were John Cena and R-Truth, or no, Kofi Kingston. Kofi, you remember Kofi in the green and pink gear?
Yeah.
I always thought that was so sweet. That was like, yo, awesome. That was my first figures. And then the next Christmas, I got a Christian and a Randy Orton. And then I think the next Christmas after that, I finally got a wrestling ring. And boy, I wore that thing out. I don't know where they put it. They probably threw it in the trash because how much noise I would make with it. You know, it just disappeared one day. They're probably sick of all the noise I'd be making, slamming, and you know, I'd have 50-minute classics with these wrestlers. And I threw my other toys in there, like Wolverine in there, having them wrestling matches and shit. And it just disappeared. They probably got sick of it. But yeah, man, they bought me a good bit of stuff. I had like the WWE Championship, like the small little replica one. My biggest thing was I couldn't watch pay-per-views, and I could only watch one show. So that kind of held me back in a little way. But, you know, that's what YouTube's for. So, yeah.
Now, being a fan and being a wrestler are two completely different things.
Yeah.
What was the transition like when you decided to make that switch?
Honestly, it was most exciting time of my life, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Because I knew I wanted to wrestle since I decided when I was 14 that I wanted to wrestle. And I literally stopped like paying attention to school, honestly. And I just like, I'm wrestling. I don't care, I'm wrestling. And when I finally found the school, found Firestar, and I was about to get ready to wrestle, I was nervous because I was like, you know, only a small percentage of people are going to make it to where they want to be. And I thought I was going to be like an ass, you know. But I was like, I'm going to try as hard as possible, see where it gets me. And, you know, effort will take you a long ass way. Just showing up will take you a long way. And, like, that's just my biggest thing to whenever anybody, like, says they want to be a wrestler or they want to join. If you're serious about it, just being there, making yourself available, and just showing effort will take you so much farther than anybody else. 100%. For me, like I was so excited for the longest time. I was literally at the school every day after work, like to the point where LeBron, he said it himself like a year after I was there. He was like, yo, I see this motherfucker so much, I'm sick of seeing his face. But I was, you know, I just wanted to learn how to wrestle so bad. And I'm glad I did want to wrestle that bad because it got me where I'm at today, you know. But yeah.
If you could meet the younger version of yourself right now, given everything that you love and everything that you have learned, what advice would you give the kid that first fell in love with professional wrestling?
Don't do it. No, I'm playing. No, I'm doing. I don't know, man. I don't think I'd give myself any advice because, you know, I don't think my younger self would listen anyway. Knowing what I know now, my younger self wouldn't listen to what I had to say. But if my younger self knew I was a professional wrestler and known some of the things I accomplished, because when I started wrestling, all I really wanted to do was, you know, make a living wrestling and, you know, travel across the globe just wrestling. That's all I wanted. And just seeing some of the things I've been blessed to do, I think my younger self would just be happy enough knowing that, you know, even though the journey's not finished, no telling where it's going to take me next, but just knowing what I know right now, I think my younger self would be really happy and proud of myself. And that's the story about how everything started up until this point. We do not know what the future holds. There's going to be some big things coming soon. I can't, you know, I don't know what's coming soon, but, you know, we're going to be traveling the world. We're going to be making more of a name for ourselves. And just stick around and see what else the journey has for me.